I'm Sharyl Attkisson in Poland with U.S. troops less than 40 miles from the Russian border. The expanding war between Ukraine and Russia brings the potential battle line ever closer to Poland and NATO involvement. Do you expect that Russia knows what's going on today?
Absolutely.
We're on live fire drills with the troops, sending a loud and clear message to Russia. We're heading into the worst of the fall allergy season, and those who suffer are facing a confusing choice of options.
It was no different than taking a placebo for a stuffy nose.
This week, we take a look at what happened to those old sinus remedies that worked.
When we published a paper, we brought this to FDA's attention, and they ignored it.
And the answer is nothing to sneeze at.
In Kentucky, there's a fight over water.
I don't get to choose what's in my water.
For decades, fluoride has been added to public water systems with the intent to prevent tooth decay. And for decades, some have questioned the mandate.
Fluoride is a neurotoxin. We can repair the tooth. You can't repair brain.
This week, we question the science.
Welcome to Full Measure. I'm Sharyl Attkisson. The U.S. is one of 32 nations belonging to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO. The alliance is 75 years old this year. Because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, there's arguably never been more focus on its role of collective defense. And a political flashpoint, the huge cost. Today we travel to Poland, where the U.S. is taking a lead role near what could be a staging ground if Russia should do the unthinkable. These are live-fire NATO exercises in northeast Poland. It's rare that journalists are permitted to literally be in the midst to observe. This spot is chosen for its strategic importance, a mere 37 miles from Russia, and not far from a place often called NATO's weak spot. The Suwalki Gap in Poland. It's a 40-mile-long stretch of land between a Russian territory and Russian ally Belarus. If Russia were to attack from both sides, it could separate NATO countries Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania from Poland and the rest of Europe.
Kaliningrad, Russia, is about 60 kilometers to our north.
Lieutenant Colonel Patrick Maris from Birmingham, Alabama, is commander over this NATO training exercise. Why is this area important?
So the positioning between Belarus and Kaliningrad is about 160 kilometers wide. It is the only land bridge to Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia that exists. So part of our role here is to deter any adversaries from impacting that terrain.
Does the fact of simply conducting exercises act as a deterrence?
Sure. It's interacting with multinational forces across NATO. It's partnering with Polish forces. Is all an effort to deter any adversaries.
Soldiers from the UK, Croatia, and Romania are taking part today, alongside U.S. soldiers. Juan Mujica, 22, is from Victoria, Texas.
I'm the gunner on my track.
And what does that involve?
Pretty much just controlling the gun on top and just shooting the targets, pressing the triggers.
28-year-old Staff Sergeant Broderick Perdue is from Omaha, Nebraska. What would you like people at home to know about something you do they may not know?
I would just like to say that being an armored crewman is probably one of the best jobs you can have in the Army. There's nothing beat being on an Abrams tank, maneuvering and shooting big bullets, like at least almost a mile out.
Do you expect that Russia knows what's going on today?
Absolutely.
How do they watch?
From all different means. I mean, open source collection for sure. Social media, anything that is advertised. I mean, from the NATO side, we message very well what our capabilities are and how frequently we are practicing them for that purpose.
Another message NATO is delivering to Russia today is that multiple nations are practicing cohesively and are ready, bridging language barriers and communication gaps. Colonel Alex Gizevskis oversees NATO battle groups in the region. He joined Lithuanian Fighters for Freedom in 1991 when he was 17 and took part in combat operations against the Soviets until they left Lithuania in 1993. Do you think the Russian threat in some respects focused NATO in a different way that made it stronger or more powerful as a deterrent?
Yes, NATO is much stronger than it was earlier. I'm very happy what Americans actually bring the knowledge and we are able to share with all nations, all among us. This is the most important, frankly saying, the support, deterrence, and trust me, it's just people around, when they see the military uniforms, and Americans especially, they're very happy to greet them, to shake their hands.
The $175 billion tax dollars the U.S. has designated for Ukraine since Russia invaded in 2022 and the lopsided assets the U.S. has to back up NATO are political fodder. The U.S. spends close to $1 trillion on defense. That's almost double the other 31 NATO countries combined. And when it comes to NATO's annual budget, the U.S. and Germany cover 1/3 of the $4.2 billion. 30 other countries contribute much smaller amounts. At a campaign rally, Donald Trump recounted how, as president, he says he motivated more NATO nations to step up and pay their fair share using tough talk with the leader of one unspecified NATO country.
Well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to pay your bills.
Perhaps no country outside Ukraine counts on U.S. support more than Poland when it comes to the Russia conflict. Poland President Andrzej Duda told me he's worked successfully with Obama, Trump, and Biden.
2015 roku po raz pierwszy spotkałem pana prezydenta Baracka Obamę.
In the fall of 2015, I first met Barack Obama. The result of our cooperation was that during the NATO summit, a decision was made to expand the NATO presence on NATO's eastern flank. And then President Barack Obama gave the green light to dispatch 2,000 American soldiers to Poland. And so they've been present ever since on a rotation basis. When I had my cooperation with President Donald Trump, the American presence was enhanced in Poland. And then the presidency of Joe Biden came, and Joe Biden, when the Russians were attacking, were on the eve of launching their attack on Ukraine, dispatched here and deployed here top-notch American soldiers to be deployed in the vicinity of the Polish-Ukrainian border. So American politics, no matter who is at the helm, continues to function in a way that strengthens and solidifies American-Polish relations.
We know, or we've been told, that Russia hasn't made any moves threatening to go beyond Ukraine's borders, anything like that. But are there scenarios that we've worked out that if that were to happen, this would be or could be a key point?
Frankly saying, I cannot reveal the whole secrets and so on. We know what enemy potentially can do. So when I can tell on behalf of my division what we are ready actually not only to deter, but to defend every inch of the NATO. To reiterate, NATO officials say they would see key signs well in advance if Russia were planning an assault or offensive outside of Ukraine, and they say Russia hasn't made any such threat since its invasion in 2022.